Hi everybody, I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions.
And I'm Selena Rolfus.
And what are we looking at right now, Squeak Doo?
The past.
We are looking at the past. It is December 27th, 1998. Actually, no, it's July 31st, 2018. The thing is, and I mentioned this in my Nerdinalia video on the Sega Dreamcast, the battery for the Sega Dreamcast goes out quite a bit, kind of exactly like the battery for the Sega Saturn, so you lose any sort of, time and date tracking, but luckily the Dreamcast saves to the little VMUs, the visual memory units, that had mini games on certain titles, so, you don't really need to freak out unless you're just really upset that your Dreamcast lives in a perpetual Groundhog Day. So, yeah, this is, the end of July, but we're actually recording a Halloween time video on the Dreamcast.
I think all time should be Halloween time, personally.
This is true, yes. Halloween is a very good and fun time of the year, and we are going to be playing a game. I don't know when this is going to upload. We're heading down to Universal Horror Nights pretty soon. I don't know if you're going to see this. Well, you will definitely see this before Horror Nights, but I don't know if this is going to be uploaded before or after we go. I can't really make any sort of promise like that, but, Squeak Doo was saying we should do the Universal Horror Nights. And,
yes.
And my response is, I'm going to die the death of fright, and I'm going to be absolutely frightened with this sort of thing. And so we decided maybe to get ourselves in the spirit, we'll play an very little known game on the Sega Dreamcast. It was technically released after the Dreamcast was officially discontinued. The name of the game is IllBleed. I always used to call it I'll Bleed, like I am going to bleed.
Yeah.
But it's actually bleeding that is ill or infirmed. But the thing with this game is, I'm gonna press the play button here, guys. But the thing with this game, and you see, oh my gosh, it freaked out here. And here's the Dreamcast boot logo again. This is one of those games, it's like $200, and while I would love to have it in my collection, we've got some traveling coming up, and not the cheapest traveling we could do, so, I have to download the ROM, which, as you know from my Nerdinalia video, certain Dreamcast units, can read, backup CDR games, and we tried to Squeak Doo another recording of this, and it was a disaster. I didn't know what I was doing. We tried to be completely blind, Michael Reynolds, Virtual Horrorland. Yes, the whole thing about this game, IllBleed, is it's a virtual horror theme park.
Yeah, kind of like a haunted house simulator.
Yeah, kind of like that, but the game has a sharp learning curve. Really, really sharp to the point of...
Well, it didn't help that you completely missed the tutorial first time you tried it.
The fact that you're able to completely miss the tutorial is a little demented. And, so we just wanted to maybe do this better because it's painful to watch a video where the player doesn't know what they're doing. So I wanted this to be kind of blind, and I still don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not good, but I've rehearsed a little bit of the first level, and I've read a download of the instruction manual, so I at least grasp the basic mechanics of the game, so this shouldn't be too much of a death fest. Or maybe it will be a death fest. Halloween!
Ooh, spooky.
Alright, Squeak Doo, you ready?
Yeah.
Of course, Squeak Doo and I, we both know what the intro movie's like, but, it's always a good time.
Yeah, prepare yourself, guys. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, seriously, prepare yourselves. I'm a Dreamcast. 18th Annual High School Speech Competition.
For as long as I can remember, my family ran what we called a horror caravan. We hauled this house of horrors around from town to town, trying to give people a new thrill, a new nightmare. I kind of like traveling, but all that gruesome gore got to me after a while.
Like talking without moving your lips. Random flashback of Trapdoor.
My dad was always conjuring up new devices, tricks, and traps.
The Dreamcast
each
did
one
have
scarier
good
than the
graphics.
last.
I don't know why she
Guess
was
we
so
tried them out on.
like
Yep,
that.
me. I guess it toughened me up a little. I mean,
you gotta
you
love
have
those
to be brave
silhouettes
to walk
there.
through a den of
Not
snakes
moving,
or
no
try to
animation.
avoid trapdoors
tough.
to make it to your room. I was a pretty fearless kid by the time I was 5, thanks to my fearsome father. He fed on others' fears and was never satisfied. My mom couldn't stand how obsessed he'd gotten, so she thankfully
Sounds like a
divorced him when
speech
I
she should be
was
giving her
6.
therapist.
Yet I had gotten
You know?
attached to horror. I remember how that good old Halloween pillow and a hot red water bath soothed me. I think I might major in child psychology.
Brilliant segue, how much she loves Halloween, and I might major in child psychology. That's how you win speech contests. Segue.
So, how'd I do?
That was some good segue in there, Erica.
That was great. I mean, you're the head of the Horror Research Club, and
President of the Student Council. It's a given. You win this speech contest for sure.
I shudder to think what everyone else had said.
He kind of looks like Brock a little bit.
He does.
What, Michelle? Why didn't you listen to Erica's speech?
Yeah, why'd you listen to
I
Erica's
don't need
speech?
to. I know she'll win. Here,
Yeah.
take a look at this.
those are guest invitations to IllBleed.
And that's how I learned the pronunciation of the game.
Co-promotion?
Kill! Look, we can win $100 million there.
$100
Yeah,
million bucks.
if we can manage to get through the whole park, that is.
No sweat. I'm game if you are.
Sure thing. I'm with ya. Whoa, whoa.
Dim noises.
What about you, Erico?
I think I'll pass. It sounds too good to be true.
Why? You just said in your speech to conquer your fear and surpass the odds. Come on, we can test your theory.
Sounds like we're trying to be superheroes or something.
No biggie. It's just a house of horrors.
Dad
Probably full of
acting.
cheesy props and gags.
Which proves what's so weird about this.
If she does become a psychologist, she'll probably be like the Scarecrow from Batman.
Yes.
Maybe they'll make it take so long to get through it. Everyone will give up, go home, and the horror honchos will end up with a lot of free publicity.
Or else the whole thing is a hoax. And they don't have the money at all.
It's a hoax. They don't have the money at
I'm
all.
down with that.
I don't know if I'm Irish or Scottish.
I'm not
Sorry,
voting
both of my Irish
or
viewers.
going.
I don't have any Irish viewers, I
real?
don't think.
Are you positive?
You sure?
Ireland, though, has a lot of really good YouTubers,
Yep,
though.
you heard me.
Seriously, Ireland, good for you.
Okay,
And we
Your
are
Highness,
Irish, so it's
then
cool.
we three humble
Yep.
slaves shall bring back the $100 million, and you'll be sorry.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to commune with the undead.
I mean, that is hot right
I
there.
just am
I
looking for a
can't wait to
chainsaw
commune with the
and act
undead.
my way to
But they don't
fame
actually
here.
have undead at, like,
Oh, bruh.
haunts, you know?
Okay, then. We'll
You
catch
don't know.
later, Erico.
Let's go.
Like, we're not going to be seeing actual corpses at Horror Nights.
I hope. And of course, if Erico loves horror so much, she should know, she should be like a smart mark. Like, okay,
Yes.
I know I'm getting ripped off, but I love horror, so I'm going to go
Yeah,
ahead
you're
and...
in it for the show.
Yeah, so... Not a very well-written game, you know.
I have a theory about that. Like, maybe she wants to be the one causing horrors to people and not having them caused to her, which is awesome sentence structure, but
You can dish it out, but not take it, Erica.
That's
Excuse me,
right.
Did you see 3 high school kids around here 3 days ago? They had special invites.
I mean, at that point, I would be pooping myself.
What?
I would just assume that's a costume.
And she seems to, like, kind of understand him. She just says, what? But then she, like, goes on. But I mean, like, they haven't really actually animated, like, expressions, so you don't know if she's confused or not. Not as confused as, like, I am playing this game, of course, but, So, and of course our Dreamcast going off. I'm a Dreamcast!
Hopefully we won't have to flip it like a pancake.
Yeah, so we bought one Dreamcast, and, something was wrong with it, so we had to, like, flip it upside down to get it to play. But, we got another one, and this one, both were extremely loud, though, but, we've never had a problem with this one. So, basically with this game, I'm going to go ahead and switch to the semi-auto follow camera here, because that's a little more comfortable for me for these 3D sorts of games.
Right.
So, this game, I'll just head over to the tutorial and maybe explain a little bit of the gameplay mechanics as we're there. She can jump. I don't know what... The Y button brings up the map. In overworld land, it's...
Do you have to find the map in individual levels, or are there just no maps there?
You know, I don't actually know. So here is the tutorial level, and we'll explain some of the mechanics with Mr. Michael Reynolds, the billionaire honcho guy who developed the park IllBleed. So.
Okay, my theory on this game, and I don't know anything about it, so if I'm right, I'm calling it here. I feel that he's her father.
I mean, that would be a cool twist, but judging by how beautifully the game is written, you know.
I mean, why would 4 random teens get an invite to a super exclusive event for a haunted house? Like, this was before you had, like, YouTube and Instagram with your influencers, you know?
Right,
it's
these
like,
are very random kids,
people back in those days who would go to stuff like this, they would be writing for, like, the local newspaper, you know?
I just want every high school in America to be aware of my park.
Yeah.
Welcome to IllBleed. I'm Michael Reynolds. I'll show you the most important thing for you to survive. Please go forward and to the right. So, here we go. I concealed the horror monitor where you stand now. All 4 of your senses on screen are the proof of the item. I don't know, I guess that was a bad translation between Japanese and English. When the sensors reach their peak, press the A button to obtain the horror monitor. Alrighty, so we have 4 senses here: sight, hearing, smell, and the 6th sense. So when these things are peaking, that means something is weird or wrong. Something merits investigation. And so we're getting close. The senses are going wild here. And here is the horror monitor. Now, one of the things that this tutorial never tells us, but it kind of just expects us to learn, is that the horror monitor isn't carried with you from here to the actual levels of the game. You have to find the horror monitor within each level, and the game never explains that to you, which seems like, well, bad design.
So if you get one in level 1, it's not going to be with you for level 2. Basically.
Exactly. You have to find it each time you start a level. By pressing the R trigger, you can use the horror monitor. Take a look at the tombstones behind you with it. There may be something hidden there when it zooms in. Place a warning mark there by pressing the A button. So I go ahead, I press the right trigger. Now, I've opened the horror monitor, and we have something called the adrenaline meter. Each time we activate the horror monitor, it takes a little bit of adrenaline out. And then, now searching, okay, something's weird. I go ahead, I press the A button, and it takes away adrenaline points. Luckily, if your adrenaline is 0, it doesn't necessarily kill you. The other things you see on the menu, the green menu, that green bar, that's our hit points. You don't want that to be empty. And the beating heart is our heart, so I don't actually know enough about my own human physical body, but our heart's beating at 50. You don't want the heart to go into, like, 150. I mean, correct me, doctors, And here we have nothing special found. This is something really aggravating with the game. You use the horror monitor and you take adrenaline points just to say you didn't find anything. So there's this game is filled with those like stupid cheap shots and surprise things, you know? Get a swig of water.
Well, I mean, what kind of haunted house would it be without a cheap shot or two?
You know, I guess so, but I don't know. For, like, a video game, you almost feel like it should be something you could potentially win at. There were things, like, that you could have, and in the tutorial level, like, items to pick up, but, Lesson 4. You should avoid damaging shock events during attractions by warning the area before approaching. So what I was doing earlier, I was technically warning, but the thing is, there was nothing special. So the technical term is warning, but what I was actually doing was wasting my adrenaline points. The adrenaline gauge in the lower left-hand corner will decrease each time you use the horror monitor.
But if this is like a haunted house simulator, isn't it kind of spoiling all the fun to know where the scares are gonna be?
Right. But the thing is, like, if you keep getting scared in this game, you could end up losing, you know? Like...
Well, luckily that won't happen to us at Horror Nights. We'll get scared and win.
Get scared and win. I hold you to that, Squeaky. I am absolutely terrified of these horror nights. And I'm sure some, the person who's watching might be tempted to comment, like, hey, dude, like, horror nights is nothing. And it's like, okay, but, you know, it sounds like scary, you know? When your sixth sense is active, it means that there may be items or enemies nearby. I hid items beneficial to you. Get them and use them wisely. Go ahead and good luck. So you can, like, use your, senses meter, but to be honest, I don't really see where, like, I've had it where the senses were peaking, and you get nothing, but we get Hassy Cola here. You know, like, when we first started playing this game, and, like, with the horror nights and everything, like, I legit thought it would be so scary, we were gonna die. And I do think that for Horror Nights. I think it's gonna be legit so scary. But I was kind of like that when we went to see the movie 28 Days Later. In our town, it only premiered in the Artsy Theater.
Yeah, the Esquire. A really cool place. If you're in Cincinnati, you should check it out.
Check out the Esquire Artsy Theater. Yeah, it is a nice little theater. But, and previously we had heard that in India, a former, like, British Army guy died in the middle of watching that. As it turns out, he had multiple pre-existing conditions, and it was more than likely going to happen anyway. But still, like, I was absolutely horrified, like, at the idea of this 28 Days Later movie, and then we get into the movie, and it's like, I thought it was maybe kind of stupid. I know people love that movie and they think it's so incredible, but I don't know, it's kind of stupid.
I love horror. I love horror movies and all that, and 28 Days Later is hella scary. Oh my gosh, like, especially if you guys have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. The scene in the church, like, where the zombie priest dude comes at him.
I mean, but like, we live in North College Hood, a slummy suburb of Cincinnati. Basically, our daily life is 28 Days Later.
No.
Like,
we don't have people trying to eat us.
They say the virus is rage, and pretty much everyone in our neighborhood is infected with rage. So...
But yeah, after that movie, like, I would be sleeping and I would have to turn my lights on. Like, did I hear something, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's I don't know, it was like...
Now the sequel, that was kind of rubbish.
Yeah, the sequel, 28 weeks later, and I guess later on they'll have 28 years later, when the Dreamcast was king. Actually, Dreamcast...
Well, by that time, the zombies would just be like skeletons.
At that point, yeah.
Like some Ray Harryhausen looking stuff.
Oh, I know, that was the good stuff. So back to the game here.
Okay, so like she finds an injection by a grave in a haunted house.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Who would go to a house, find an injection, and stick it in your vein?
Those, enjoy yourself the AIDS and hepatitis there, but filled with made adrenaline. Inject into the back of the neck, mild recovery. Oh my gosh, that is so helpful when you're actually in it.
And
yes.
if you were in that kind of situation, though, wouldn't the adrenaline just come naturally?
You know, you can automatically replenish your heart rate by just sort of standing there. You can replenish your bleeding. There's a bleeding meter. If you take some damage, you'll be dripping blood everywhere. You know, like you can clear that just by standing still, but I really don't know how you can recover the adrenaline, so you could keep walking into things blindly there. I'll show you guys a little bit more of the interior of this place here. Here's the emergency room here, where you can get recovery operations. I don't really understand how that works. Resuscitating operation. I do think, and I mean, this becomes real clear once you enter the first level, they have a character selection menu. Obviously, you're here, you're searching for your 3 friends here. And
so I'm guessing we're gonna find them before the end of the game.
Exactly, and you'll be able to play as them, but it's possible you can die, and then you would come here and get the resuscitation operation.
I would be going to the lawyer and getting the tort operation.
This is true, yes, the tort operation. Oh, man. Here is the convenience store, and I think the stores in this game are creepy. Like, look at that girl.
That is so awesome.
The creepy girl?
Yeah, like, she's just so creepy, but, like, also so cute.
Okay, yeah, I mean... Slight recovery of adrenaline, so we'll definitely buy this. We will definitely buy a deep breath to help our pulse numbers. We'll go ahead, we'll buy a salad, and, maybe a, Passy Cola, and, why not? You know, blow some money here. Thank you, creepy girl. I don't want to actually, like, give a good first-person view of her because I would lose adrenaline, and I have no idea how I would be able to cure that here.
So it doesn't get restored automatically when you enter a level?
It gets restored automatically there, but I don't know. It probably is remembering that I'm losing adrenaline out here. I don't really know, to be honest. We need to play more of that. Now, this is something that the tutorial level does not explain. It's something we didn't know of last time, and the instruction booklet mentions it only in passing at the very end of it. This right here, taking the photo with the really creepy dummy guy, this, want to take a souvenir photo. Note the question. Want to take a souvenir photo. I click yes, and it's the save game.
Oh!
Nothing about that says, do you want to save your game? I mean, so the souvenir photos, anytime they say, do you want to take a photo in this game, if you were ever interested in playing this, that's how you save. So I'm going to go ahead and save it on to the, Hello Kitty VMU that we have here. I have another data on the other VMU of me just messing around trying to learn all the mechanics. I know this was maybe kind of a more boring video, but this game kind of requires some explanation.
It's good for people who want to go into it.
Or if, like, you want to watch other episodes of this series, you know, to be like, okay, why is he concerned about this? Well, this is a good sort of introduction, and on that note, we will go ahead and cut the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are the best fans of any YouTuber in the entire world. Make sure you like and follow me on the Twitter, Instagram, and Vero. I'm at Jorn, Jorn, Von, Von, Beagle, Beagle, and Squeak Doo, you're on the Instagram.
Luna Dollface 27.
Yeah, so go ahead and make sure you follow us there. And thank you guys so much for watching. You're the best fans of any YouTuber in the entire world. I don't know how far I'll be able to get with this game, but I wanted to do like a few videos of sort of a rare Dreamcast thing that not a whole lot of people discuss. So I'm really glad that you guys wanted to share this experience with me.
I'm just glad that we're ending an episode not on the Game Over screen.
This is true, yes. You know, I did a lot of maybe explaining of the actual gameplay stuff, but yeah. Oh, there will be episodes where we ended on the game over screen, because I am complete garbage once we actually get into the level here. But either way, you guys know you're the best fans of any YouTuber in the world, and I hope you click that subscribe button so you can check out what else we're planning on doing. You guys are indeed rock stars.
Have a spooky day.
Bye.
Bye.